Albertayers. We're back here still at EGX, and yeah, again we're going to continue talking about education and the expansion of universities around the gaming industry. So we're here with Paul from Abertay University. Will you tell us a little bit more about your university and its role in gaming education?
So Abertay was one of the first universities to start a games programming course back in 1997. This year we're now celebrating 20 years of games education. We now have a wide range of games courses, focusing on games programming, game design, computer arts and sound and music for games.
And there's been a big explosion in games programming courses, as we can see. We're here at EGX and half the game floor, half the show floor is taken up with indie games. There's about a third of the floor back here taken up with universities. How has that rise in courses on offer? Is that kind of gone parallel to the boom in the indie market?
Yes, so the problem is that there's now the games industry is massive now, it's just always growing, and there's a skill shortage, so we need more graduates with the skills to make games. So in response to that, universities and education sector, more and more courses, more and more graduates.
And I'm assuming this course is ever evolving, because we've now got 13-year-old kids are doing Raspberry Pi and BBC Microbit in primary school, so I'm guessing if this course stays the same, they're going to surpass it before they get to uni. It's
a massive challenge. Any course, we are constantly looking at reviewing it. At Abertay, we work closely with Skillset, and our course is Skillset accredited. We're also a PlayStation First University, which is Sony's academic initiative, so they work closely with us to make sure what we're teaching and the skills our graduates have are appropriate for industry, and that gets reviewed every 2 and 4 years.
And how flexible are the skills that you learn? Because like we keep hearing the news all the time that there's a digital skill shortage in the UK. So your course is just game specific, or can these skills be applied to other industries?
With regards to games programming, which I teach on so I can speak more about, we spend the first 2 years providing them with solid core software development skills, and with a little mix of games, and then more games in the further years. So the idea is they have the core skills that are transferable to a wide range of industries, as well as having that good games context in amongst the teaching.
And we've got here, like I've already mentioned, there's quite a lot of universities here with game courses on offer. You've quite boldly got the big logo here, best gaming course in Europe. It's a big of a claim to make. Everyone seems saying they're the best. But then we've just seen the winner ceremony for your Dead Academy.
Yes. So the claim is, well, it's true. We, in the Princeton Review, we are one of 2 European universities on the list, and we're the highest. So we're the best European. Yeah, no,
can't argue facts.
Little big-headed, but yes, we were externally reviewed, and we're the best. So yeah.
And we've just seen the winners being announced for the Dead Academy. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that competition?
So the Dare Academy is now our new version of our previous competition, which was Dare to be Digital. This was a worldwide competition for games development. The new Dare Academy, we start around March, and we have teams compete, starting from about 12 teams, rolling down to 6. Those 6 then get hothousing in the university, working with industry partners. Part of that means they get to display their game here at EGX. And the final winners, 3 winners, they get sent off to hothousing in India, China and LA.
We just see the prize there, you mentioned India, China, LA. That is not even just an amazing prize and holiday, but those connections are possibly life-changing for a student coming out of university.
Yes, these teams are very focused on starting their own studios. They want to make their own games. So one, being here at EGX, being able to showcase them, speak with industry and speak with publishers has been a massive help for them. And I think, yes, those prizes you're talking about, it's just going to be a bigger boom. They're going to make bigger contacts. They're going to get to speak with industry more, and we're hoping to see these games published in the future.
And like I say, going forward from that, not just the people that have won, but the games, you've got 6 games on show from the Day Academy here at EGX. I'm assuming there have been a lot of talks after the conference in networking and publishers.
There has been discussions with major publishers and platform holders around how do we get these games onto their platforms, how do we take them forward. It's one of the big challenges, one of the reasons the teams are here. They want to know what do they have to do to get their games out there to the public.
And you were saying you teach these gaming courses, so how does it feel on a personal level to be here seeing your guys talking to, your students talking to publishers and setting up deals to publish?
Them speaking to those publishers, as well as seeing the quality of the work, I couldn't be more proud. I'm blown away by the work the guys have done in such a short time, and just how incredible these games are. They're all very wide-ranging, so we've got a VR experience, we've got a double-headed dog, we've got something more serious looking at dementia. It's just, the scope of the games is just incredible.
Do you find through indie gaming and student-made games, especially we've found with some of the ones we've seen that are student-produced, that the level of artistry in them. Like, there's always an argument our games are. These students this year seem to be really blurring those boundaries.
Yeah, difficult question.
Put you under the
let's put me under the microscope on that one. I don't know how to answer that.
I mean, I'll kind of throw it in the bus, but it's kind of like you wouldn't see many mainstream publishers taking a risk on a game about dementia or something quite abstract like that. We saw one from NFTS, which was around the life cycle, the 24-hour life cycle of a mayfly. These are things that, like, quite conceptually, you wouldn't expect to see in gaming.
It's something we see more from the indie devs, because they're willing to take that risk. And I think definitely with the Dare Academy competition, it has been a case where they're being supported. So it's sort of, there's a bit of a safety net to take that risk. I mean, yes, they're putting some nice prizes on the line, but they are showing what gaming can do in a wider context.
And finally, everyone that's listening to this, all gaming fans, we've all been at that point where we're a 10-year-old kid playing Mario and decide, when I grow up I want to make games.
Yep.
What advice would you give to the 10-year-old boy or girl watching right now that wants to make games?
Start making games. There's content out there making games on Raspberry Pis with Python, working with game engines like Yo-Yo Games, Game Maker Studio. There's loads of stuff online on YouTube. I mean, go out there and try. Speak to people. There are now coder clubs in most major cities where young kids can get involved in coding. If they're more interested in other aspects, then they can look online. There's plenty of stuff out there. So, obviously, I'm a programmer, so that's what I focus on. Maths is very important. But if you're looking at design or the art side, just go out and do it. Don't wait for someone to make you do it, just go do it.
Well, I suppose that these courses have come about because the people went out there and did it, and you had to, your universities had to suddenly go, crap, we need to supply for this. So,
exactly.
Thank you very much for your time. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
You too.